Hey, everybody, and welcome to Differential Equations for Scientists and Engineers. I'm your instructor, Katrina Shank. So this is just a little video intro to get you started. Now, we use Moodle for our class, and the way you get to Moodle is you type moodle.randolphcollege.edu, and then you're going to log in with your username from Randolph College, which is right before your email. The first part of your email, right before the @ sign. So mine is kshank@randolphcollege.edu. And so my username would be kshank, and then you would use your password that gets you into Randolph College. Okay, so let's just take a look at what the site looks like. There's a syllabus. Now, it won't be hidden from students because it's hidden right now because I haven't finished doing this video. So you'll see the video that I'm doing right now right here, all about our office hours, about my cell phone that you can feel free to text. Texting is really great for me because I get your message right away. Now, I may not be able to answer right away because I might be driving or something like that, right? So make sure that you tell me who you are and tell me what class you're taking in the text. Okay. But feel free to text me. All right. And we have a book. This is it. Differential Equations with Boundary Problems by Zill. And the way we're using a online homework system called WebAssign. I bet a lot of you have used that in the past for other things. So what you can do is click on this and it'll go right to your WebAssign class. Now, the first time you do it, you're going to have to sign up for WebAssign, right? So for me, I don't have to sign up. And so when I click, I go right to the class. Takes a little while to load. Hello, let's load. Okay. And you'll see this is the name of the class, Phys33012 section summer 02, 2023. And it says there's no assignments because they're all in the future. So if I click on future, I will see the assignments. First assignment here, which is due on Monday, is just getting started with WebAssign because, it takes a little getting used to if you haven't used it before. Okay, so let's just take a look down on the class. This is the link to use if this link doesn't get you what you need. Okay, there's a supplemental book, which I highly recommend. It is very cheap in a Kindle edition, and here's a link to the book itself. It's like $15. I like having hard copy, but it's up to you. And it's really great because it has lots of solved problems, and every week I'm going to be for every subject, I'm going to be telling you like what section in that book would be good to go through. It also is for extra credit. So if you do a bunch of problems in the Shams outline, you can submit that work for extra credit at the end. Now, I recommend that everybody approach math and physics as if you were learning a new instrument. Right. So it's all about practicing. Right. So you wouldn't expect yourself after one lesson on the piano to be able to be like, yeah, next time you came to the teacher that you could just play whatever he or she told you to play or helped you learn. So practicing is really necessary for math and physics. And a lot of people don't approach it that way. And that is to their detriment. So the more that you practice, the better you'll get at this. Okay. And this is a calendar, and it's just showing you when the homeworks are due. Now, there's 3 tests, right? There's a test on chapters 1 through 4, a test on chapters 5 through 8, and a final exam that's cumulative. Now, here's the deal. The tests are open book and open note, okay? They are timed. You don't get infinite time for them, but they are open book, open note, and they are multiple choice. Keep your scratch work, because if you don't, if you have some issue with the problem later and you want to come to me and say, well, I thought I did this right, and if you don't have your scratch work, I can't really look at it. Also, if you submit your scratch work, you get extra credit. Okay. All right. So here's how sort of a week will go. All right. So there's a to-do list, and I suggest that you kind of really follow this closely. So for instance, the first week, you should do the getting started on WebAssign by that Monday night, right? But then I suggest you do it this way. You watch lecture 1, which is on sections 1.1 and 1.2, and then you go and do the WebAssign homework chapter 1 for those sections. Like, of course, the chapter 1 homework has more sections in it, right? Because we're going to cover more in chapter 1. In fact, we're only covering one more section, but right? It's a good idea. So you watch the lecture and then go and try to do the homework problems right away, right? Because you can do just those problems and wait and don't submit the whole chapter 1 homework. Okay. So I suggest you do all that. And then they have to finish that homework by the 13th. Okay. And so here's how it looks. There's a link to WebAssign on every week so that you don't have to keep scrolling to the top. Anyway, and there's a video lecture, and then there's a suggested supplementary work, and then another video lecture. I always tell you what sections I'm covering, and another link, et cetera, right? For that week. Some weeks are a little heavier than other weeks. Okay. And as we go through, you'll get the hang of this. It'll take a little better. Okay. And as far as tests go, the first test that we have is coming up in week 3. And you can see it'll be down here at the bottom. And it says here, it's a 3-hour time limit. So don't start it unless you have that 3 hours to work on it. Don't be like, I'm going to look at it and see if I'm ready. Don't start it because it's going to start that timer. Okay. All right. And that's really all I have to tell you. It's not that complicated of a class. Again, feel free to text me, and be aware that if you are taking this class because you're going to be an engineer or a physicist or a chemist, that differential equations, even more than calculus, is the language of those fields. So do your best to really try to, incorporate this material. At the very least, remember what I said, because at some point you're probably going to come back to this material, as I did many times, right? Going through getting a physics PhD. Yeah, this is the language. So this isn't a class just to pass and move on. This is a class to really learn. And I know you're taking it in a 5-week period, so that makes it hard. But remember at least enough to know that you should come back to this class or come back to a book on differential equations, right? Okay. Anyway, well, I think that's all I need to tell you. So we'll see you in class.